Welcome. My name is Dwayne Hancock. I'm the EASMC Legislative Chair. Today we're going to be conducting your candidate interview. Everybody's going to introduce themselves, and then we'll get to the questions.
Good afternoon. I'm Mary Ann Tomasic. I am a career advisor. I work at the Charter School, Fairlead Academy, Virtual Academy, and the Tech Center. Thank you for being here this afternoon.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Elaine Deems. I work at Leonardtown Middle School as a special education paraeducator. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your time.
Good afternoon. Thanks for being here today. I'm Katrina Mills, Building Service Manager at George Washington Carver Elementary.
Oh, okay.
Jennifer Knight, kindergarten paraeducator at George Carver Elementary School. Good to see you.
Yep.
I'm Jennifer Lannerman, special educator at Great Mills High School. Thank you for being here.
Yep.
Welcome. So, today, when we refer to educators, we're referring to teachers, building service, food service, IT, any job that works for SMCPS. That's what we're calling educators today. This is a brief. Okay. And now for your first question. Tell us about your background and your experience. What is your motivation for running for the Board of Education?
Sure. So a little bit about myself. I'm proud to be the only candidate in the race who actually attended and graduated from St. Mary's County Public Schools. I'm proud to say I went to Mechanicsville Elementary, Marlboro Middle. I graduated from Chopticon High School. Go Braves, sorry, Leonardtown. Some little bias there. What inspired me to run for Board of Education is that I think we need a more recent perspective on the school board on the issues that we face when it comes to safety and security, teacher recruitment and retainment. And the reason that is that when I was in college, I went to College of Southern Maryland for my paralegal certification. I was actually returned to St. Mary's County Public Schools as a substitute teacher. I loved every minute of it. And it gave me a unique experience inside different schools. So I did a lot up in the North County at Chopticon High School, especially in their sales program, but I also was at Carver Elementary, and gaining that unique perspective, I saw some of the issues, and I've always been passionate about trying to help our youth, and that's what got me interested in running for school board.
Okay.
Sorry. If you were elected to the Board of Education, what would your top 3 priorities be?
So my top 3 priorities would be safety and security. The reason for that is that, look, as if you're an educator, I've spoken to plenty of them that have told me that, hey, I've been spat at, I've been kicked at. Not getting a positive response from the administration when I write a referral. I mean, these are very serious issues, and at the end of the day, it's putting our teachers at risk, it's putting our students at risk, and so I think we need to help solve that. The other thing is, yes, we do need to recruit and retain great teachers, but we need to actually have a plan in place. I think every candidate that runs for school board should have a plan in place for recruiting and retaining great educators. My plan is that, look, we got to step outside of St. Mary's County. We're going to have to recruit in the metro area. We're going to have to recruit over in the northern neck of Virginia. We need to step out of our comfort zone because that's how we're going to help attract. The way we retain teachers, I think, is having a responsive administration in place. So when you have a complaint, you have a concern, when you write a referral, they're actually responding to that. The administration is taking it into account and they're actually responding to it. And 3, right? You said 3?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing is budget. Look, I want to make sure that we do have a responsible budget, that we're making sure that we have enough educators and paraeducators in the classroom. And look, of course, I want to make sure we get the best bang for the buck when we spend our money.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
As a Board of Education member, will you support the Education Support Professionals Bill of Rights?
Yeah, I think so. I think I would. I'm not going to elaborate any further on that. It would.
What are your guiding principles for evaluating and approving curriculum changes?
Well, I think we want, what's best for our students. So when we're looking at curriculum changes, we need to make sure that it's best for our students.
As a board member, would you support and advocate for lower class sizes and the funds to do so? Do you believe that a mandatory board guideline should be adopted?
Yeah, that's a great question. So from my experience, some of our schools were overcrowded. We got over 40 kids inside of some classrooms. You can't even walk around in there, they're so tight the desks are. In other classrooms, some seats are empty. So yeah, I think it would be wise to have guidelines in place on what your class sizes should look like. Because when you have a large class size of over 40 students, I think it's difficult for those students that really need that extra one-on-one learning time to get it. I don't think we're doing our best when we have large class sizes. So I think I would support guidelines.
As a member of the board, how will you foster a positive relationship between the board members themselves, the county commissioners, and local unions?
That's a great question. So it all comes from a position of respect. I respect EASMC, I respect the county commissioners. I think it would also be valuable to have somebody in place who has a relationship with the county commissioners. I don't mean to pat my back, but I know each and every one of them, and I think that would be a benefit if I was on the school board.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was vaccinated. Apologies. As a member of the Board of Education, how will you incorporate the expertise of educators throughout the county when you are making decisions about the school system?
So this is something I've said when I've been running, is that I would like to have meetings at the schools with our professionals, because I want to hear directly from you if I'm on the school board. It's great to have all of you come to meetings and stuff, and having EASMC at meetings, but I feel like I get more when it's one-on-one and I'm actually talking directly to you and I can help address some of your problems and your concerns. That's valuable to me.
Other than salary, what part of the teachers' negotiated agreement do you feel would attract and retain more teachers to St. Mary's County? And other than salary, what part of the support professionals' negotiated agreement do you feel would attract and retain more ESPs to St. Mary's County? And if you could change one thing from each contract, what would it be and why?
Give me a second to
I
process all
can
that.
repeat each one as you need it.
So I was satisfied with the negotiated agreement with this year, I'll be honest. And in terms of changing anything, I didn't really see anything that I would advocate for changing from the board's perspective. As I said earlier, I think it comes from a position of respect, where if I'm negotiating with EASMC, I want to have open ears, I want to be open-minded. We may not agree on everything, but I will always be there to listen.
In your view, what challenges do you see the children in our county facing as they work to be successful in our schools?
So something that I noticed when I was a substitute teacher, it was right after the COVID pandemic, and I think you saw a lot of students, struggle to be integrated back into in-person school. And so some of that is behavioral problems, some of that is mental health problems. So as I said earlier with safety and security, it's addressing some of these behavioral issues, making sure that our teachers have the support they need. If a violent fight breaks out at your school, too many times I've seen teachers get in the middle of it and get injured. I think that's unacceptable. We have security teams in place that are well trained. They should be the ones responding to the violent fight. I want to limit the risk of teacher injury in those types of scenarios. But probably the biggest issue when it comes to our students being successful, I think, is behavioral issues.
Last question. As a board member, how will you ensure that the diversity of St. Mary's is a consideration in your decision-making process?
Yeah, good question. Look, I want to bring everybody to the table. I want to have conversations with everybody. I don't judge anyone by their appearance, any protected characteristic. I think that would be shallow and low of me. My ears are open to all.
you have a question?
Sure.
For question number 9, when you're talking, you mentioned behavioral issues. Could you expand on that a little bit? What you meant with, like, it's a challenge, did you have a solution for it, or when you said behavioral issues?
Yeah, so it goes hand in hand with kind of what I said earlier about referrals being followed up, ensuring that our safety and security teams are well trained, that they know how to respond to a violent fight. But on top of that, I think if you look at some of the suspension data, and a lot of it is fights, a lot of it is violent incidents, I don't think it's wise to return these students just back to the classroom if they're getting into repeat fights. I'm a proponent of some sort of alternative school. Maybe that looks like virtual school. I would prefer an in-person alternative school. And so that's where I'd go to look to help trying to solve these behavioral problems.
Thank you for clarifying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mr. Guy, thank you for your time.
No problem.
This concludes our interview.